You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WFHR Daily News Roundup for locally grown radio 97.5 FM and 1320 AM and WisCountry 105.5 FM WIRI in Wisconsin Rapids.
For WFHR and WIRI News, I'm Melissa Kay. An arrest in Nakusa on Friday rocked the small community. The Nakusa Police Department arrested 41-year-old Jenny L. Wicki and 36-year-old Jorge Torres after a multi-year investigation. Wicki has been charged with felony crimes, including fraudulent claim for credit, false income tax return, money laundering, public assistance fraud, and theft, among other charges. Torres is a non-U.S. citizen with a violent past. He was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Jenny Wick owns and operates West River Cafe and recently opened Little Mexico in downtown Nakusa. Both restaurants are now closed until further notice. These charges are an accusation of criminal conduct. The Nakusa Police Department states there was probable cause for an arrest. However, Wicki and Torres are presumed innocent until proven guilty. With spring comes the possibility of severe weather, and Wisconsin is getting prepared. Lisa Hale has more on what you can expect on April 10th across the state.
Wisconsin's annual statewide tornado drills are scheduled for April 10th at 1:45 and 6:45 p.m. during Tornado and Severe Weather Awareness Week. Now, the tests will be rescheduled if there's severe weather in the area. Schools and businesses and homes are encouraged to practice going to their nearest tornado shelter during the drills as if an actual tornado warning were in effect. Ideal tornado shelters include a basement, a ground floor interior room, or safe rooms that are specially constructed to withstand high winds and falling debris. Outdoor warning sirens are not intended to be heard inside of homes or businesses. Authorities recommend that residents obtain a NOAA weather radio or local weather phone apps for severe weather alerts.
Resistance across Wisconsin. Thousands of people protested the first 75 days of the Trump administration over the weekend. People flooded the Capitol Square and State Street in Madison on Saturday, as well as other cities across the state as part of the movement. There were more than 1,000 hands-off rallies all over the country. There were lots of groups that put these protests together, from workers' unions to LGBTQ+ advocate organizations. Folks said they were there to support reproductive rights, Medicare, due process for people here illegally, school funding, the list goes on. But many said they were there in defense of the U.S. Constitution, saying President Donald Trump is not a king. Signs said things like laws, not chainsaws, hands off veterans' benefits, and hate never made any nation great. Stevens Point saw around 400 people gather in front of the U.S. Post Office, and Wisconsin Rapids had close to 100 people on the East Riverview Expressway Bridge and in front of the Aspirus Hospital. The White House responded by saying Trump, quote, will always protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid for eligible beneficiaries, end quote. Experts have said the budget goals Republicans passed are impossible without cutting some social services. It's the DMV, not the DNR, warning about a problem with fishing. Stuart J. Waddles has more.
It's the DMV, not the DNR, warning about a problem with fishing. The Wisconsin DMV is warning about a phishing scam where crooks impersonate the agency through text messages. The scams claim there's a final reminder for an outstanding toll. Wisconsin doesn't have toll roads. The aim is to trick you into clicking fake links or sharing personal information. If you do get scammed, you're being told to call local police.
I'm Melissa Kay for WFHR and WIRI News.
The Brewers beat the Reds. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Crew with an 8-2 win over the Reds. Starter Chad Patrick getting his first major league win. I asked him about getting through 5 1/3 innings.
Just felt like I could just command everything a little bit better. I don't know, my body felt great. I could breathe a little easier, and it just It was awesome being out there.
Bullpen help from Jared Koenig, Abner Uribe, Grant Anderson with Eric Haas at catcher, Pat Murphy.
It was really good. The whole pitching staff gave us what we needed. Credit Haas. Did another great job behind the dish, navigating through, and Koenig came in a big time, and Uribe was good, and Anderson, that's the first time I've seen him really, other than New York, and he did the job.
NBA, the Bucks with a 111-107 win on the road over the Pelicans. Giannis taking the night off. Head coach Doc Rivers.
It's a win on a back-to-back night when you didn't know who was going to play tired or not, and everyone played well. It was good for us.
That's Doc Rivers with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Tangled was a huge hit for Disney in 2010. Probably no surprise that there was a live-action film in the works, but it has been put on pause. Reports that recent controversy surrounding Disney's Snow White, which was released a couple weeks ago, are making the studio skittish about Tangled, according to Variety. My guess is there are problems we don't know about because Mufasa the Lion King made $750 million globally. Sometimes there is more drama behind the scenes than on screen. Well, there are 3 more days of great film screenings at the Wisconsin Film Festival this week in Madison. Most of the screenings are at Flick's Brewhouse in Easttown Mall, so go to wisconsinfilmfest.org and check it out. If you couldn't make it to Madison for this amazing festival, don't sweat it, because Milwaukee's Film Festival is right around the corner. Let's all celebrate the movies, people. Val Kilmer passed away last Tuesday, and colleagues and movie fans alike have been eulogizing him and discussing his incredible body of work. Last week at CinemaCon in Las Vegas, Tom Cruise discussed his friend and co-star from Top Gun. Cruise asked the crowd for a moment of silence, then said to the crowd, "Thank you, Val. Wish you well on your next journey." Cruise also told the crowd he admired Kilmer's work on screen, the way he lived his life off-screen, and said he was honored when Kilmer joined the cast of Top Gun. Speaking of Kilmer, his co-star in MacGruber, Will Forte, says Kilmer asked him to be on The Amazing Race in 2010. Kilmer was having a dispute with his landlord and moved in with Forte, who turned him on to reality TV. The two loved the show, The Amazing Race, so much they considered doing it until their agents put the kibosh on it. Forte says not doing the show with his friend is one of the biggest regrets of his career. Minecraft is only getting so-so response from critics, but that's not stopping it from setting box office records. The film opened Friday with encouraging signs at the gate, but the record set involved pre-sales. The film pre-sold more tickets than any other video game-based movie in history. The video game movie stars Jason Momoa and Jack Black and edged out Five Nights at Freddy's by about $200,000 in pre-sales, according to Deadline. Fans of detective shows, myself included, have a new episodic to look forward to. Max is developing NYPD Confidential. The show is based on an article that ran in Vanity Fair called NYPD Confidential, Inside America's Most Unconventional Counter-Terror Squad, written by Adam Soralski. He knows the genre well as he was a consulting producer on Showtime's The Agency and Netflix's The Recruit, which was based on his own experiences being recruited by the CIA right out of law school. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans. Colder and blustery today behind last night's cold front. A spotty snow shower can't be ruled out, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with highs in the mid-30s. Mostly cleared tonight, cold, a low near 14. A bit warmer tomorrow, highs in the lower 40s. Right now, it's 30.
That's your WFHR and WIRI Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WFHR.com or WisCountry, that's WIS Country.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.